speaking of morons, spring break is happening right now, and so we always get these kinds of videos around spring break. Caitlin Bennett went down to spring break to talk to a bunch of college students and to quiz them about basic facts, about history and civics and that sort of thing. Of course, we've seen a million of these kinds of videos, so you know exactly where it's going to go. And yet, the videos still manage to shock and disgust us every single time. Like, you know exactly how this is going to go. Okay, it's going to be a bunch of these college kids who are total morons and know absolutely nothing about anything. And yet, still, knowing that going in, you find yourself somehow surprised. So let's watch this.
Who did the colonists fight in the Revolutionary War?
Oh, God. In the Revolutionary War?
It was, I don't know if this is right. I mean, it sounds so stupid. Was it the Spanish? Wait, what are your majors?
Business. Biology.
Okay.
Elementary education.
Oh. What shape is the U.S. Pentagon building?
Isn't it just a square?
How many U.S. senators are there?
6, 7.
6, 7. 2 for each state.
How many amendments are in the Bill of Rights?
There's a lot. I know 17.
Who won the Civil War?
Oh, shoot, it's East or West, right?
Well, it's the Civil War, so it's the civilians versus whoever was in power.
How many justices are on the Supreme Court?
Justices. Mm-hmm. So like when you say that, like you mean like the FBI?
Who is on the $100 bill?
Oh, I know that.
Abraham Lincoln?
Nope.
Abraham Lincoln.
Come on, bro.
That's the First Amendment. What's the second?
Right to vote.
Name 3 states that border Canada. We'll just do one per person.
Asia.
I didn't know Canada had a border.
Okay, so these are mostly college students. We heard one of them is in elementary education, so that's very encouraging. The leaders of tomorrow. And I know these videos are kind of cheap. Most likely, she probably talked to a few people who answered the questions correctly, and they don't make the cut for the video. But that doesn't matter, because it simply should not be possible to go anywhere and talk to college students who don't know who fought in the Civil War. Even though arguably, I mean, there was the one moron who said East versus West. The girl who said, well, the civilians versus the people in power. It's sort of, I mean, you could make an argument that has sort of stumbled on something close to the truth. In that you could argue that it essentially was Southerners versus the federal government in a sense. I don't know. I mean, if you tried to rescue that one, you might be able to do it. But you should not be able to find anyone. You should not be able to find anyone who thinks that Asia is a state bordering Canada. Think about how utterly clueless about the world you would need to be to think that. Like, I want to get inside that guy's head and find what do you think the world looks like? Where do you think you are right now? Because apparently you think Asia is close by and that between you and Canada is Asia. So then if you went across the Pacific, which you probably don't know where that is, what's over there? How can you make it to that age and think that it shouldn't be possible to think that. And you certainly should not be able to find anyone who graduated from 13 years of K through 12 public education and yet are this shockingly ignorant about the most basic facts of the world. And yet you can. I mean, it's very easy to find people like this. Nothing says peaceful slumber quite like waking up feeling like you've been in hand-to-hand combat with a pile of discarded metal springs that have personal vendettas against your spine. Luckily, that's where Helix Sleep comes in. I never realized how badly I needed a new mattress until I finally got one. My Helix mattress actually supports my body the way it should, and I'm sleeping straight through the night for the first time in years. The best part is waking up feeling refreshed instead of dragging myself out of bed in the morning. What makes Helix different is they don't just sell you a random mattress. They actually customize and match you with the perfect one for your body and sleep style. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or somewhere in between, they've got you covered. Helix has a sleep quiz that'll match you with your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes so you can get better sleep and a better start to each day. Trust me, when you find the right match, you'll wonder how you ever slept on anything else. Right now is actually the perfect time to upgrade your sleep because Helix is offering an incredible March Madness sale. Go to helixsleep.com/Walsh to get 20% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/Walsh for 20% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/Walsh. I doubt that Caitlin Bennett had even spent all that much time filming. She probably was filming for like an hour, and she was able to find all this. Because anyone could do this. You can go down to any beach during spring break, spend an hour filming, and you'll find enough ignoramuses of this type to fill out a funny montage. And that's why I'm really not interested in hearing from anyone defending the Department of Education. It has totally failed. It has clearly failed in the most fundamental way. Here's a question to consider. And of course, there's no way to confirm this, but 100 years ago, do you think, let's even say 200 years ago, okay, in the year 1825, do you think you would have been able to find a single 19-year-old who had no clue where Asia is? Do you think that in 1825, you could have found a 19-year-old who thought that Asia was somehow a state or territory of the U.S.? I don't think so. Even if you were talking to, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, there were many fewer people who had any kind of formal education. And even then, I don't think it would have been possible to find anyone over the age of like 7 who had that level of ignorance. And yet these days they're everywhere. It's a whole cottage industry on YouTube. So this is a systemic failure. The whole education system has totally failed. And we all know that. We don't even need to look at test scores, any of that stuff. The fact that anyone can make this video, anyone can do this. I could do this right now. I could just go out in public anywhere with these kinds of questions, and and if I was willing to film for 3 or 4 hours, I could find 50 people who could not answer these questions. And we all know that we could do that. So the education system has actually produced a level of ignorance that, as I said, should not even be possible. It's almost impressive how the amount of ignorance it's produced is almost impressive in its own right. So you got to tear the whole thing down. The whole thing needs to come down. And also, these people should not be able to vote. Like, that should go without saying. It is outrageous that probably everyone we saw in the video, that all of those people can vote. That the guy who thinks that Asia is a state bordering Canada, he thinks that Asia is like, and that guy can go vote. And his vote counts the same as everybody else. He has no idea where he is. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what planet he's on. He doesn't know anything about anything at all. And yet his vote is equal to mine. That should just not be allowed. So that's the next conversation we need to broach. You know, we've made a lot of progress on the right, even in recent months, even progress that many of us didn't think was even possible. I mean, the fact that we're talking about dismantling the Department of Education, that alone, 2 years ago, I would have thought, there's no way that's going to happen. It's impossible. And so it is. And so here's another conversation that seems impossible. It seems like it'd be impossible that we would have an actual, like a real, and I don't just mean as a podcast topic, I mean really, like a real movement in this country to start limiting the number of people who can vote. It goes against all of our programming, because we've all been raised in this fantasy world where we think that voting is a God-given right. Everyone should be able to do it. The idea that there be any limits put in place at all is just, it feels intuitively wrong to people because we've had this idea drilled in our heads from the youngest ages that voting is this sacred thing that everyone should be able to do. But that's just not the case. That was never the plan for this country to begin with. You can't have a functioning country this way. You can't have a functioning country where you've got people who are that stupid, whose voice matters the same as you or I. Like, that will kill the country. It's killing it right now. And so you start, and there's an exponential growth rate in this kind of ignorance and stupidity. So 50 years from now, like, the country can't exist anymore when you've got these kinds of people who are steering the ship. So either we can continue to have a country or we can figure out a way to stop these kinds of people from voting. I mean, it really is that simple. It's our choice to make. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.